Steelers Nation, before we jump into the latest breaking story, don't forget to hit that like button and support the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers continue to show that they'll do whatever it takes to stay competitive in a stacked AFC. Week after week, you can see their commitment to improvement, whether it's adjusting the roster, experimenting with new schemes, or bringing back players who understand the pride of wearing black and gold. And this week, that drive was on display again. The Steelers have officially re-signed defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal, just days after releasing him from the active roster. That's right, Leal is back in Pittsburgh, now on the practice squad, and fans are already debating what this move could mean for the defense moving forward. Before their Week 10 matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers, the Steelers made headlines when they parted ways with former third-round pick DeMarvin Leal. At first, it seemed like his time in Pittsburgh might have reached its end. Drafted in 2022, Leal entered the league with high expectations, boasting an impressive combination of size, strength, and athleticism. However, consistency has been the biggest challenge of his career so far. Yet in true Steelers fashion, General Manager Omar and head coach Mike Tomlin weren't ready to close that door completely. Within days of being released, Leal was brought back on the practice squad, an opportunity for him to keep developing, stay within the system, and perhaps work his way back to the 53-man roster. It's a classic Steelers decision: smart, patient, and cost-effective. The organization still believes in his potential, even if his fit within the defensive scheme has been complicated. When the Steelers drafted Leal out of Texas A&M, they envisioned a versatile pass rusher capable of lining up on the edge or inside as needed. Standing 6'4" and weighing nearly 290 pounds, his athletic profile reminded scouts of former Steeler Bud Dupree, a hybrid defender who blossomed after time in Pittsburgh's system. But Leal's path hasn't followed that same trajectory. Through 31 career games, including 12 in the 2023 season, he has shown flashes of his talent with 29 tackles and moments of real burst, but he has yet to carve out a defined role. The issue lies in scheme fit. Leal looks more like a natural 4-3 defensive end, while the Steelers remain loyal to their 3-4 base alignment. In Pittsburgh's defense, outside linebackers like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are asked to drop into coverage and play multiple roles, something that doesn't suit Leal's strengths as a true hand-in-the-dirt lineman. As training camp rolled around this year, Leal found himself slipping behind younger players like Nick Herbig and rookie Jack Sawyer, who fit the Steelers' hybrid style more naturally. This move, then, isn't so much a demotion as it is a strategic adjustment. By keeping him on the practice squad, the Steelers can continue to invest in his development without using a valuable active roster spot. And make no mistake, practice squad players have real value, especially as the season wears on. Leal will now serve as a scout team defensive specialist, helping the offense prepare for opponents who use 4-3 fronts, a common setup across the league. That experience is crucial for Pittsburgh's game preparation. Leal's return also connects to a few other roster moves. Running back Trey Sermon was promoted from the practice squad to the active roster after already being elevated 3 times earlier this year, forcing the Steelers to either sign him permanently or risk losing him. Sermon has been solid on special teams and now adds depth behind Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Linebacker Mark Robinson was also called up for game day duties, continuing his role as a dependable depth player and special teams contributor. With those moves made, Pittsburgh opened space to re-sign Leal to the practice squad. Once again, Omar and the front office proved they're always thinking 2 steps ahead, playing chess, not checkers. Looking ahead, it's unlikely that Leal will see much playing time on the 53-man roster unless injuries occur. However, that doesn't mean the team has given up on him. At only 24 years old, he still possesses the physical tools that made him a high draft pick, and he's in one of the best environments for defensive development in the NFL. The Steelers have a long history of turning mid-round defenders into major contributors, and Leal could still become one of those success stories if he finds his rhythm and adapts his game to Pittsburgh's system. Meanwhile, veteran leadership continues to define this Steelers defense. When a player like TJ Watt, a former Defensive Player of the Year with more than 100 career sacks, takes the time to praise a teammate, it carries weight. Watt recently spoke about what Jalen Ramsey has brought to the defense, describing him as hungry and tenacious, even after achieving everything a player could dream of in the NFL. That hunger has been contagious, At 31 years old, Ramsey looks rejuvenated in black and gold. Through 8 games, he's posted 35 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 3 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss, and an interception, all while providing leadership and swagger in the locker room. This year's defense is loaded with veterans who know how to win. Watt remains the face of the franchise. Cam Hayward continues to anchor the line. Darius Slay brings his experience to the secondary, and Ramsey adds intensity and elite coverage skills. Together, they've formed one of the most battle-tested units in football. After some early season struggles marked by missed tackles and miscommunication, the defense turned a corner in Week 9 against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts entered that matchup with the league's top-ranked offense, but Pittsburgh's defense dominated, forcing 6 turnovers, intercepting 3 passes, and holding Jonathan Taylor to just 45 rushing yards. It was the kind of old-school, punishing performance that Steelers fans live for. Now, the spotlight shifts to Sunday Night Football as Pittsburgh heads west to face the 6-3 Los Angeles Chargers under the primetime lights. Justin Herbert leads one of the league's most explosive offenses, but the Chargers are battling injuries along the offensive line and in the backfield. That could open the door for another dominant outing from Watt, Hayward, and Ramsey. Expect physicality, swagger, and a defensive statement from the black and gold when the nation is watching. If the Steelers continue to play disciplined football on both sides of the ball, combining veteran leadership, defensive grit, and smart offensive execution, they'll have every chance to strengthen their position in the AFC North. The Ravens may be close behind, but this is Pittsburgh's moment to separate from the pack. The energy, the culture, and the leadership within this team all point toward something special. So, Steelers Nation, what do you think? Was bringing DeMarvin Leal back to the practice squad the right move? Or is it time for the team to move on and look for a new developmental pass rusher? Do you still see potential in Leal as a depth piece down the road? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let your voice be heard. And if you love getting inside analysis like this, breaking down the moves behind the scenes, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The Steelers never stop evolving, and sometimes a second chance is all it takes for a player to turn his career around. Maybe DeMarvin Leal's story in Pittsburgh isn't over just yet.